Hey, I'm Rob for JTLpodcast.com. This is my first impression of Coimbra, which is a dice drafting game. We're using the dice to draft cards, which you put into a little engine, build some engine up, you move going up tracks, you are moving around the town, you are going on voyages, and you are trying to score the most points. As you can imagine now, I've got the game set up. It takes up a lot of table space. I've got a board, fairly big board, not huge, but fairly big, to one side, and then on the other side of that you've got some cards laid out for the 3 rows of 4 cards. So it's taking up a lot of space. It is something I'm working on, so these videos look better in the future. Don't know how I'm going to do it without spending a lot of money, which I'm not willing to do. So we're going to look at everything in turn order, and then I'll move the camera around as required. So it won't all fit under in one go, but it will all be there for you to see. So let's take a look at the game, how you play it. So here we go. It's very colourful. Look at all those colours, very nice. So the first thing you're going to do is you've got these little line figures. This is sort of your turn order here. And there's going to be pairs of these cards laid out. And in reverse turn order, you're going to draft a pair of cards. This gets you going. So this one means it's going to activate in phase C, which we'll get to when we're looking through the different phases of the game. This little lightning bolt means that it's going to give you an automatic these. So this is one movement on this track here, and this is one shield, which will make sense shortly. And you also move up on these tracks. So you can see one of the tracks right on the edge there, this black track. You're going to move up on the tracks that are gold, purple and green. So this will move you up 2 on the purple track, and this will move you up 1 on the gold track. And then you're going to choose, again in reverse turn order, where you start. There's 4 different boxes here, and they're all going to lead you off in 4 different directions. So players will then take turns putting their pawns on these spaces, and you're ready to go. I'm set up for a 4-player game. You can play with fewer players, and I'll go through one of the rules, one of the major rules that changes that involve these tokens when you're playing with fewer players. But let's go. So you have a player board, which is important. It shows you how many shields and how many, this is guards, and this is gold. And this is both your resources you're going to be spending throughout the game. You start on 7 each, and these are going to be moving up and down as you gain them and spend them. But most importantly, it shows you the different phases along the bottom. It's got the different areas for you to put your cards. As I said, that one card I've lost. This one is a phase C card, so you put it under phase C to remind you that it activates during phase C. This one is a one-use card, so it goes in here, which is pretty much your discard pile, which you need for endgame scoring. So let's take a look at this one. The first one is roll the dice. And you roll the dice. Let's just say that is the roll. I'm just going to pile them there for now so you can see all the different colours and the different numbers. Step B is draft the dice. So you're going to go in turn order. This is the turn order, and you're going to draft the dice. And when you draft the die, you take the die you want and you put it in one of these little die holders, and then you put it in any one of these 4 tracks here. So let's just say I go there. And you can do that in turn order. Everybody's got their own little holders, and you put them on these tracks. If you have a die that's the same value, you put it to the right in these 3 tracks and to the left of these 3 tracks, depending on the number. So here, this goes from 6 to 1. So there's a 5 already there. If I took this 5, it would go to the right of that 5, which will make a difference when you are taking these cards later on. And this track is the other way around. This one goes from 1 to 6, it's lowest to highest. So if somebody places a 1 there, if I play a 1 there, then I'm going to go to the right of that. It's going to go in that order. So let's just say these are put on the board. Everybody's got 3 of these holders, so there's going to be 12 dice on the board in a 4-player game. Let's just say that is the order. Are they all in the right number order? Yes, they are. Good. Okay, so let's move these 2, and let's see how gaining cards works. So start with the top track. These are the little favour tiles. Now the reason you're drafting dice is putting in these holders so you know who owns the dice. So this is one of the other players. I haven't put them in their little dice holder. I probably should, but I haven't. So they would then take their die away, they'd put it on their little player board, and in this case, because you start from the top, work your way down, you'll take one of these 4 tiles. So let's just say they take this tile. This one gives them 2 victory points and 3 movements on this track. We'll get to all these in a bit. And then I'm the next die along, so I will get to pick one, so I'll take this one. This one gives me 7 shields or 7 money, because it's a lightning bolt, you do it straight away. So I take the die, I put it on my little player board there to show that's the space for it to go. Where that goes, oh, on my little board there, I'll also gain 7 shields, so I'll go up to 14 shields, for example. And now that's that row done. So then you go down to the next row. This is me again. It's a 6. The 6 gives you first pick, but it's also the value or the cost of the card you're going to take. So you look at the card, whichever one you want. I'm just going to pick one at random. Let's pick this one. I want this one here. So it's going to cost me 6 coins because it's got a coin in the top. If I took this one, it cost me 6 shields. So I pay this one. I pay the 6 coins, going down to 1 coin. I take my die back, put it back on my board. I take this card, and this card has this token on. Each coloured card has a token on, depending where it is on the board, and you keep that for later. I'll get into that shortly. You move up this many spaces on that track, so I'll go 1, 2, 3 on the black track, and then you get an ability. This is E. So I put this under my board on E to remind me that this card is going to activate in the E phase. Now, if you don't want a card or you can't take a card, you can always do this to gain 2. You can always just get rid of your die to gain 2 gold and 2 shields. And I said I was going to mention the main difference. So if you're playing with fewer players, you have these little tokens in place. Say there's a 5 here. Let's just say this was the setup for this row, because there's some of these tokens that are placed, different values placed in different areas depending on the player count. So let's just say that's the one. I take that die, I took the card that was there, and now this would go. This is like a dummy player. They take the highest value card. So in this case, it would be a 3. So that card would get removed, and then these players would take their turn from those cards available. And basically, during this phase, people are going to be taking the dice, taking their cards, activating any instant abilities. Some of them, like this one, is end game scoring. That's what that exclamation mark is. And then we're moving up on the various tracks, taking the cards, and that's it. So now we can move on to phase D. And phase D is all about changing turn order to go through the rest of the phase. And this is done based on crowns. There's several ways to get crowns. You get crowns on those tokens that are on the cards if you happen to take the right one. There's also crowns on some of these favour tokens if you take the right one of those. So there's 3 crowns. You've also got crowns on your current turn order. So if you're second, you've got 1, and if you're third and fourth, you've got 2. So I'm the yellow player. I've got 2 there, 3 there, 5 there. You see who's got the most. In case of a tie, you keep your current player order, and then you just switch around player order like that. So usually whoever's first ends up being last because they haven't got any crowns or something like that. And there you go. That's how that turn order plays in phase D. Now you go to phase E. And in phase E, you're going to gain the income from now. You've looked at the value of your die when you're taking cards over here. That's just the value. Now you're looking at the colour. So now I've got a gold, orange die, I've got a purple die, and I've got a black die. So what you do is you activate each of those tracks depending where your token is. So let's kind of fudge this around a little bit. So with the black die and the gold die, it's going to give you your income. So here I'm there on the black track, so I'll get 3 shields if I activate this black die, and I activate this yellow die. I'm there on this track, so I'll get 5 gold. So I'll just move 3 shields, 1, 2, 3, and 5 gold. There we go. So that's how those 2 tracks work. So they're very simple. The green track is the same sort of thing. If you've got a green die, you would score that many points. So you just move your little point token around the track on the outside. And the final one is this one. This is where you're moving these people around the board. So I'm here, so I'd move 4 spaces. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And any you land on or pass through, you get to put a little token on, and that activates those abilities. These are all random. So not only are the cards random throughout the game, these are also random as well. There's more than that you need in the game, and their placement's random during setup. And so I've got these permanent abilities. This one gives me 3 on this track, 1, 2, 3. And then this one gives me another ability, which is whenever you place in this space on the board, you're going to get 4 points. And there's all these different things around the board that you're looking at to order to activate abilities. So this track basically moves your little pawn number of spaces around the board, trying to get all these different abilities and boosts for using later in the game. Also, it's worth bearing in mind some of the cards do activate on E, which will enhance your bonuses that you're going to get from E, or give you a little something in stage E. Then you go to stage F, which is to go on a voyage. Now, to go on a voyage, you're going to pay either coins or shields to put a token on some endgame scoring cards. There are a number down here. You can see there are 6. These are all random. Again, there's more than you need. These 3 cost shields. This is their cost. These 3 cost coins. This is their cost again. And basically, you'll look at what they do. They all have these different abilities. This one gives you 9 points endgame. This one is you get your position on these 2 tracks divided by 2, and you score that many points endgame, I think. I'm not entirely sure. But what you would do is you pay the cost of one of them. So let's just say I want this one, so I'll pay 7 shields, go down to 10 shields, and I'll put a disc on it to show that I have got that. And any player can go on any number of those. After phase F, there is nothing. So what you would do then is you would clear any cards that weren't taken. You would put some more out. In rounds 3 and 4, they are from deck level 3, so the cards are slightly better. So you've got level 2. Level 1 are the cards that you get during the initial drafting phase, where you get 2 cards to get you started. Level 2 cards last for rounds 1 and 2. Level 3 cards last for round 3 and 4. And after that, the game's over, you do some endgame scoring. So once again, all of the endgame scoring is on the board here. You've also got your endgame scoring cards. Let's see if I can find one of those. So there you go, there's the gold exclamation mark. You'd also get in-game points for them. But first you're going to look at is your voyages, and you're going to see how well you've done, and you will score each one you've got a token on. Again, you're moving your score around the outside of the board. And this you're going to do is score the influence tracks. The higher up you are, the more chance you've got of scoring points. So you can see here, these are again shuffled and randomly placed. So this track, whoever's first on the track gets 16, second gets 11, third place gets 6, and when you're doing tokens, whoever's on top is considered to be behind. Just had to look that up. And so you look at the tracks, you see who's got the most point furthest up, so you will score that many points for each of the tracks. They are different values, and again, they're random. If you're playing with 2 or 3 players, you play the other side. So in a 3-player game, first place gets 13, second place gets 16. And in a 2-player game, 6, sorry. In a 2-player game, first place will get 13, and second place will still get 6, but only if they're within 3 spaces. You're not automatically guaranteed the points in a 2-player game. You've got to try and keep up with somebody if they are in the lead. So that is that track, or those tracks, should I say. Then you're going to look at sets of diploma symbols. So on your card, you've got these different diplomas of different colours. Some of them have them, some of them do not. And some of them are multicolours, so you get to choose your colour. You can also get them from some of these tiles on the board. Hopefully I can see one somewhere. No. Well, there you go. I should have checked that before I started talking. But anyway, this tells you how you score them. You make as many sets as you can. You can only use 1 diploma, including any diplomas you got off these tiles, per set. And if you've got a set of all 5 different colours, you'll get 12 points. And there's a different amount of points you'll get for those. So basically try and get as many different colours is what I'm trying to say. And then what you'll do is you'll get the number of shields you've got, the number of coins you've got, plus the number of crowns you've got in that last round. Divided by 2, score that many points. Most points wins. In case of a tiebreaker, it's current player order, so turn order in the last phase. As I drop everything, is going to be the turn order. And I really, really enjoy this game. It reminded me, I know it's weird, it reminded me of Reef. So when you get a card in Reef, you're looking at 2 things. You're looking at placing things on the board, on your personal board. You're also looking at how that card can affect you scoring in the future. And with this, when you're drafting a dice, you're not only looking at the value. If it's a high value, you've got more chance of getting the card you want, but obviously you're going to pay more. If it's a low value, you may not get the card you want, but you're not paying as much. So you might get a card that's not quite as good, but you might have some money in cards for the next round or even further down. As you're picking more and more cards throughout that round, you might have some resources left over to get a better card further down than you thought you were going to get, or even that you wanted. And then you've got to look at the colour of the dice and how they affect those tracks. Am I doing well in those tracks? If I take the orange 2, I can get some coins. But if I take the black 2, I can get some guards. Didn't just check the board there. So which one am I going to take? I know I'm taking a 2, but which do I need? I need guards, but my coins are higher up. On the tracks I'm going to get more, so which one do I want to do? Which of these voyages am I going to go on, or going to try and go on? Because you can only do 1 per round. There are 6 on the board. You can only do 1 per round, which only gives you opportunity to get 4, because there's only 4 rounds in the game. That are one of these tokens, one of the favour tiles. I'll keep calling them favour tiles. I think they're called favour tiles. This one gives you a discount to go on voyages. Also lets you go on one. So this, straight away. So you get to go on one on round C with a 2 discount. And then you also get to go on round F as usual with a 2 discount. And it gives you 3 crowns as well. So this is a good one to take if you're going to score some of those voyages. If not, probably don't take it. Take something else. So that's really cool. It looks nice. It's bright and colourful. There's a lot going on. There's all this stuff. There's all this stuff. There's all these cards and dice and voyages and stuff. And there's just lots to do. You've got this thing. I love this thing. This thing makes a die more valuable. So that one is now a 4. Well done. I mean, it means you're spending more on your card, but hey, it's there. All these are different. These are in a different order. These are in a different order. These are going to be in a different order. The cards that you start with are going to give you different goals. I just think it's really, really cool. I just really like it. I can't think of any negatives. No. Can't think of any negatives at all. Let me have a think. I've got one. So, one occasion, something like the opponent's pawn was there, and I was here or something like that, and I went 1. Why did I go from there to there and not from there to there as you're supposed to? Because I was sat over here and I couldn't see the pawn in that direction. I couldn't see this dot because that was in the way. So I went 1, and then, I'm really struggling to find a negative. It's just really good. It's really nice. The components are nice. The artwork's nice. The colours are nice. Oh, I found another negative. You're going to like this one as well. So I'm just trying to get the rule book. I've just dropped it. So, symbology. Lots of it. It's not all straightforward. Let's take a look in the rule book. There are the characters. There are a lot of characters. Now, a lot of the symbology is easy. These ones that give you resources, it's the same as these tracks. That's easy to work out. Some of them not so easy. There's another page of characters. There's some more characters with the endgame bonuses. There's all the bonuses for the monasteries. That's what these are. All those there. And then on the back of the book, you have all the voyage cards. So there's lots of symbology. There we go. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I'd rather have symbols than a lot of text and stuff. I'm just trying to pick the box up. I'd rather have symbology than a lot of text. Just walls of text, like it used to put me off in, what was that game called, where you have the pillars and the cards. Elysium had a lot of text. It's very small text. I'd rather have symbols there. But then when you've got symbols in games like this and Seven Wonders, it's hard to teach because you have to sort of read them all out and look them all up until you've got in your head what you know what they are. A lot of them make sense, a lot of them are straightforward, but some of them were not. So there's that. That's another negative. I did manage to find 2, but apart from that, brilliant game. Would have been my game of last year. Had I played it last year? No, it wouldn't. It would have been second to Chronicles of Crime. But yeah, I didn't play it last year. I played it twice this year. Played it 3-player and 4-player. So I played it 3-player with the blocking tiles that I can't find. These numbers. Played it 3-player with these. Very fun. Played it 4-player. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait to play it more. That is Coimbra. Remember to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JTR Podcast to find the blog and the podcast at jtrpodcast.com. I've been Rob, aka Jesta ThaRogue, and I'll see you soon.